Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicelocke. How are my most captured players doing today?
Feel a little anxious about the fate of our characters today, that's for sure.
Really? Why would you feel that way?
Well, you know, just because they're in the hands of their most hated enemy.
Yeah, that might do it. That
We're feeling pretty captured, to say the least.
yeah. Yeah, well,
Not surprised, but
A little taste of our own medicine, I suppose.
Yep.
if only that was what was going to happen to you. We're going to have an unusual amount of narration at the beginning because there's not much for you to do. There's not really opportunities for you to escape. So I'm just going to let you know how things play out. We'll get to an interesting point, and we'll have some options, and we'll learn some things. We'll play some D&D, but you are going to be marched back to town under heavy guard, completely surrounded. Little means of escape, little opportunity. Your animals fled. And as you get further and further from your creatures, your bond with them, you can feel them over basically any distance. But once you're 20 miles away, it's like the longest you've been away from them in a long time. The exception is KTZ. You can still feel Mithra around, and as you gaze above you, Mithra is definitely flying overhead, well outside of range of anyone who could be a threat, but keeping a close eye on the party as you march towards this place, well beyond your forest, out to the edge of the plains, and out to the ocean. The ocean, a place that you have heard of, you've seen from the mountaintops, but I don't think any of you have ever visited the ocean shore. I don't think you've ever been to the beach where it's just blue expanse and no land if you look one direction. And that is where the party is being inexorably marched. And the creatures that are carrying you or leading you, they're huge. They're very large. They cover great distances of ground very quickly. And you have these smaller legs. And so they inevitably end up having to pick you up and carry you because you're walking too slow. Sometimes it's under an arm. Sometimes it's over a shoulder. It's never in a kind or respectful manner. It's not like on the shoulders like you might a small child. It's very much just here is my baggage. I am carrying this thing. As they go down the river, walking on all sides. Some people mount animals. One of you gets thrown over the back of an animal and just sort of tied there for a moment with this long braid of hair-like substance, rope, we might call it in the real world, and hauled off to this town. During your march, you have some opportunity to at least talk among each other from moment to moment. Clearly, they can overhear anything you say. They may not be happy. They may not permit you to talk, but if there's any little bits of whispered or shouted exclamations that you'd like to make between each other on your march to the sea, let me know.
Gray is going to be very quiet. He's lost in thought, very reserved, and not really doing anything. He's lost in his thoughts. He's angry at himself, mostly. At his naivety.
Alabaster is also incredibly angry at himself, disappointed, and keeps thinking that his dad was right and that he's an idiot. And he tries to keep calm and kind of feel out for Illumis somewhere, tries to pray, but I don't know if the storm of emotions in him even will let him get to a point of peace or calm that would allow for that. I think the youthful emotions are too strong now at this point.
Yeah, Iskar is feeling kind of mixed emotions. Rather than anger, it's more disappointment, I would say. And at the same time, there's a bit of, I think, just kind of spectacle at the setting, feeling like the ocean breeze and that being kind of just unfamiliar for the most part. So kind of thinking, oh, I would really enjoy this in a different context, but there's just that deep disappointment.
Yeah, it's a new experience. Smell of salt water, the offshore breeze, very new. When you get to your destination, you are led underground, or I should say carried underground, into some sort of cave with sharp angled walls, regular patterning across it. Different types of stone melded together in ways that leave no cracks between them. The area is lit by torches, and occasionally by what you and I would know to be a lantern, but you would just see as like a single burning flame eternally encased in some transparent hard material. These hang from the walls. And you're brought down into this underground space. You can look left and right, and you all have dark vision. You can see into the shadows beyond the edge of the lights often. And you're going to be placed in a prison cell. But before you get there, you can look to your side. You can see one of your friends. One of your Toman friends that was captured. Only he's not sitting up in his cell having a nice time chewing on a piece of meat or bread. He's pinned to a table, his body sliced open from neck to groin, the flesh gently pulled back, a series of containers and vessels, sometimes baskets, sometimes clay jars, sometimes other things, placed around with very soft bits of his internal organs removed and placed in them. Bones have been broken away to gain access to these under areas. His face is stuck in like a perpetual open-mouthed, wide-eyed, ghastly look. There's like a rag that's sort of draped across it that is slightly fallen off to let you still see what's happening on the face. And the body is unceremoniously left pinned onto this large board, this large table where the work has been done. You can see dried blood on the ground below, letting you know that this happened a little while ago. Long enough ago that the blood that must have flowed from his body has had plenty of time to dry. And you creatures, you Toman, you're essentially Stone Age people. You live and work in agriculture all the time. You have all slaughtered animals because it's how you survive. It's what you do. And you know that when you kill an animal fresh, it releases a bunch of blood. Like if you slash its throat and then rip it open immediately, the blood's very flowing and it can drain out very quickly. But if an animal dies and you don't realize it until like later that day or the next day, and then you cut it open, it's a lot more coagulated and it doesn't flow as freely. And so when you see the ground underneath this table and the ease with which the blood flew from your friend, you knew he was alive when they were cutting him up. After this, you are brought into a nearby cell where there are these large metal shackles, these large, hard, flexible, thin bits of stone, essentially, that they try to wrap around your hands and feet, but your hands and feet are too small, and they just slide right out of these shackles. And so instead, they just toss you into the room, shut these iron bars, and then start pushing in like little sticks and reed bits to weave in and out of the bars. Because you're so small, you might actually be able to squeeze through some of these bars. Maybe not, but they're not taking any chances. And so they weave rods and reeds and sticks between the bars to make it solid enough that you can't escape. And then after the wall is barred up almost all the way to the ceiling, you can hear their footsteps as they recede through the underground, the light going with them, leaving you in what would be perpetual darkness if it was not for your own infravision. And our party is now captive in this town at the edge of the sea by your enemy who has seemingly no respect for your life. And you think you're alone now, probably.
Alabaster will look around the room. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna slaughter us alive.
Slaughter is the proper word. They have no regard for us as life or individuals. I see that now. there was never any hope of cooperation.
Iskar's just kind of quietly shaking his head in disbelief because he really thought that our little group, we were really going to change the world and the order of things, the way everything was, and he's just lost all that hope now after seeing this.
I did believe that even if we were different, when I saw how our captive behaved, I thought that we would share fundamental values about life and what it meant. I was wrong.
We all were. And again, Father was right. I'll look around the room a little. I'm just gonna ignore the spell that you just put in chat.
Don't worry about it.
Let's see. You can't die in here. There has to be a way out, right? Do you still feel Mithra?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right?
Do you
Yeah.
feel as you still feel your bond?
I don't think so. Do I?
It's there, but it's weak. It's distant. It's like talking to someone who's on the other side of the house, and you can like kind of shout to them and back, but it's unclear.
Would I know from experience how much physical distance that entails, or is it kind of a thing where like when a certain amount of distance is there, it's kind of hard to?
You have probably been this far before, so you're guessing this is probably like a day's walk for you, maybe a 1 or 2 days walk. A good distance, but not an impossible distance.
I feel him, but Bon is quite weak. He must be very far away.
It is at this point that I need a random die roll, please. 1, 2. Where are you hiding? 1, 2, 3. Moxi. I need you to make me an intelligence saving throw. It's on your character sheet. Second column from the left near the top.
Intelligence, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is an excellent die roll. So, if it succeeds, the spell ends. By the way, the target knows you're probing into mine. Yeah, so you were here having listening to this conversation, partaking in it, when you can feel a mental pressure, like some creature is burrowing into your thoughts, that some creature is trying to tease out what is happening within your mind. And you can shut it out and like wince and resist, and it'll fade and end. But you get the distinct impression that something is trying to crawl into your mind.
Wait, I sense something. I don't know if it's Hethys, but it feels like it might be.
I
Something's
felt that
trying to
as well when
communicate
they
with
captured
me.
us. I think it is that spellcaster. I felt something similar after they cast a spell when we were face to face.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's hostile, friend, or enemy. It's strong. It's boring into my mind.
We should think about. I mean, why haven't they killed us, right? They could have slaughtered us on the spot. They brought us here. They're probably going to try to extract information from us.
Or our bodies. As one
Right.
dissects an animal, that is how they see us.
Yeah.
Gray is speaking very measured, sort of like clenched jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Focused entirely on anger at the moment.
Mm-hmm. It's now that you hear the sounds of working in the room right next to yours, the one that had your friend who had been ripped open and his organs pulled out. You can hear the sound of like boxes being closed, jars having lids put on them, that sound of flesh being pulled off of a table. It sounds like they're cleaning up the room next door. And you hear the sound of many feet and the prattle of these songless beasts as they shuffle about, clearly in some form of work. By now, Loomis is setting or has already set. They will not let you see it set. They will not let you have your nightly prayers. You can't tell exactly when it's going down. And, well, maybe they'll let you see when it comes up.
So we don't have a window to the outside at all. We're in like a cave system.
You are
We're
underground.
All right, so we're underground. They have bars, and then they've furthermore made like little rope things between them to like make the bars thinner. Is there ever someone, as we were walking here, was there one path or was it like a cave system?
It was a single path made of hard angled stone with nice clear corners.
One direction. They don't have guards like watching us right outside the gates, but
Yeah, the vertical bars have been woven with horizontal things, so you can only really see directly in front of you a little bit between the gaps. And there's no creature directly in front of you, but you can hear that they're in the hallway outside. It's essentially just a straight shot hallway with a couple of rooms on one side of the hallway.
Is there? I wonder if, if we want to try to get, communicate with our beasts to get something going out. Does Alabaster have any kind of spell that could amplify like the connection with them? Is there something like that?
I don't know how much. Neil, remind me, how are we doing spell components? It's been so long. We weren't doing spell components, right?
I think for the most part you don't need them, because some of these spells require like refined metals and stuff, and you obviously have access to all of them. So I think you cast without components is how we were doing this.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I have anything in that area. What about like? Yeah, no. Man, I have a lot of spells.
They've taken everything from us. We have basically nothing. Okay.
They've left you with your loincloths.
Gotcha.
Well, you sit in the prison for some time. Clearly, these songless beasts are on the outside. And time passes. There's a lot of chatter. Go ahead.
I mean, like, it kind of sounds like they're going to come for us soon. I think we should probably, like, we're gonna die, right? If we just don't do anything. So I think we should talk about formulating some sort of plan. Do we want to try to, because I can still cast spells. Do we want to try to formulate some sort of attack plan when they come in? Do we want to try to formulate some sort of escape plan? Because who knows if they're going to separate us and stuff like that, right? When they come in.
What are you able to do?
It's kind of how long was our trip here?
Half, 3/4 of a day, something like that.
Okay, so I'm still on the amount of spells. I don't think I cast any spells in the last comment, but I'm only going to have available what I have.
By now, you would have had time to sleep because there's things are happening in the cell. Time is passing. They're making sounds and movements beyond, but it's late. These creatures clearly operate during daylight hours more than nighttime hours, so you've got your nighttime to rest.
Yeah, I think I think it's reasonable to assume that I would have spells prepared that I think would help me in this.
Yeah.
Is there any part of the cell that's out of visibility for them? Like maybe like parts of the ceiling, or can they see everything in there? I'm thinking of like any sort of stealth tactics.
Right. They're tall enough that they can see over the section where the reeds and sticks have been interwoven to sort of make it harder for you to escape. You'd have to climb up to their head level. And so from there, they can peer in, but they can't peer directly down. And there's maybe like a little bit of the left side and a little bit of the right side just inside the door frame that they can't see. And then probably some section of the ceiling that they could not see.
I mean, just for raw combat, their spiritual weapon.
So don't think of raw combat. I don't want to sort of like
Yep.
metagame your character.
No,
for you,
no, I
but
agree.
The sort of spells you should look at, which normally you would never. It's funny enough, this is one of those utility things. Things that
Yeah.
can be potentially very powerful if you want to escape. Calm emotions. Take a look at that.
Yeah. I was looking at this.
Silence full
Um,
person. I don't think clerics get unlocked
yeah.
reduced, do they?
Yeah, because calm emotions is actually a group of people.
If I, as we're sort of like speaking here, Gray is going to end thinking. As long as we don't feel the probing, Gray's going to sort of like probably at some point in the night, or something, he'll say, if I have one single goal, if I could choose one more thing to do, and then die if I have to, it would be for one of us, even just one of us, or even some kind of message to get out and tell our people that the songless deserve absolutely no mercy, and if they're going to treat us like animals, we'll treat them like animals. That is my only singular goal at this point.
Well, the next day does come. You don't see Loomis rise. You didn't see him set. But the day arrives, and those little sticks and reeds are slowly undone from the bars, from the top down, so that there's plenty of room for, well, maybe not for you to escape. It would still be a tight squeeze, but for them to see you and you to see what's beyond. And on the beyond side are heavily armed monsters. His bodyguards, these chieftains, these warriors over there, and the spellcaster, the warlock, sorcerer, the witch. I don't know what you quite want to call the spellcaster amongst their group is there. And he squats down and he makes some very gentle cooing sounds, very soothing sorts of sounds. And then he motions for somebody to come and open the door. And a large, meaty hand comes in to grab the first one of you he can find. But if you want to take an action right now, this is the moment.
How many of them are there?
You can see the spellcaster, 2 bodyguards, and the one that's grabbing you, but you can only see so much left and right outside this hallway. There could be dozens, or there could be none. A meaty hand comes in. It makes an attack roll. Ooh, it is a modified 20, and it will grab whoever's in front. That's Moxi again. A big, strong hand grabs you, Moxi, by the shoulder, or by the arm near the shoulder, and sort of like just lifts you up and begins to tuck you under his arm.
Hold. The door's open, right?
Yeah.
And it's this person's just standing in the doorway grabbing Moxi.
Yeah, this person's kind of stepped in through the doorway to grab at Moxi, squatting on the outside as the spellcaster making gentle sounds, and behind him are large, bodyguards with clubs raised, just in case.
Gray's gonna, as he goes to grab Moxi, can I step forward and just point at myself instead? I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna point at myself while looking at the wizard.
Absolutely. They still pick up Moxi, even though you point at yourself. They disregard your opinions and desires. The second one, as this one leaves with Moxi tucked under, another one comes in and goes for you, KTZ. Are you resisting this grab?
Not this time, no. We need to move together, or not at all.
Agreed.
Right. They hoist you all up, and they take you out to the ship on the sea. Now, you might have seen little boats on the sea before, but you've never been on them. And they've always been distant objects that you've seen from the mountaintops. But here, someone has turned, 100 trees into a vessel that sits upon the water. And you've seen leaves float on waters before, and sticks and crocodiles and all sorts of things. But this is a house on the on the salt water, and they will board you up, take you up onto the ship. The spellcaster will come with you. The bodyguards will come with you. Barrels are stacked everywhere. Crates are piled everywhere with great haste. The workmen around you of the song list are driven by their masters. Someone's standing nearby with like a big stick and smacking it against things when people aren't working fast enough. You can hear the cracking of a whip, a very distinctive sound in the distance. You have whips, probably not the same as theirs, but it's a common instrument. And once again, you are brought into the underground section of this vessel. This time, fortunately, you have a little window that you can see out of. A little hole in the side of this wooden vessel with clear but hard material in it. So you can actually see out into the water beyond. You can see the waves coming up and down as the ship bobs back and forth. Seasickness might apply at some point, probably not right away, but it is the first time you've ever been off land. It'll take hours for them to finish getting ready, but then you'll see the coastline pull away.
So as we're in this room, you said we have a sort of a small window.
Mm-hmm.
How large?
Ooh, it's probably about the size of your head.
And the ship is made of hard, firm wood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once they set us there, he'll say, is there anyone in the room with us, or are we just in a break, like without any...
You are in a... It's just the three of you. There is some straw that has been thrown on the ground and a bucket with water in it. And that's it. It has a door, not like bars, but just a door that is shut.
So he's gonna, once we're alone, he's gonna say, cast a silence, and we're gonna try and enlarge this hole even just a little bit. While your silence is up, you're not gonna be able to use your flaming sphere, but you do have other fire spells, right?
Yep.
Such as what? What
Wait, do I?
You should have
Let me
scorching
double
ray.
check. I do have Scorching Ray.
Moxi has their fists. He says, this is our last chance to do anything. If there was, when you were, I would have tried to like throw myself off the boat and like swim away, but we didn't get that. He says, this is the only chance we have of making some effort.
Can we swim?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
So,
Okay.
once we're ready, you cast your silence, and all we're going to do is try and widen that hole just a little bit. Throw fire at it, etc. But keep the silence up so that they don't hear anything going wrong.
Yep. Got it.
So as I understand it,
let me-
you're going to set fire to the room that you can't escape from while you're in it. That's the plan.
Well, so you said, the way I'm envisioning is, you said there's a window, right?
Yeah.
He's scorching rays. He's not using like a flaming sphere, right? But scorching ray targeted at that window, etc., or like on the edges, even weakening the woods, like Moxi can punch it, etc. We're trying to focus our efforts right on that window, making it big enough for one of us to get out. It's not like what I'm saying is like scorching ray is pretty targeted and
Okay,
specific.
we're not
like,
trying to set fire to the room. We're just trying to do some damage to the surrounding structure to maybe weaken it.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. I wonder if we have some time to talk about this, right?
Oh, lots of time.
I wonder if I mean, yeah, we're just trying to break out. We probably do need some amount of fire, because I wonder if it's better if I just aid Moxi with buff spells. So, but there's no amount of buffs that can help him just punch through it, right?
This, when you walked on the boat, you were able to see the edges of the vessel, the railings. This is, thick wood. For a human, it's probably, it's an inch or 2 inches thick, but you're smaller than a human. So for you, I want to imagine 4 inches thick of solid wood, solid oak timbers. Punching through this, I mean, maybe if you sat there and punched it for years, maybe you're the bride from Kill Bill, but outside of that,
But after taking like a scorching ray, a guiding bolt as you did, like all
Maybe.
that, it could.
You never know.
How
I got
far are
bur-
we
I also have
from?
burning hands.
How far
We
from
should
the
have
crew?
introduced.
Like say it takes us a little bit of time
Mm.
to get through this thing, right? When we're trying, how long do we have until we alert someone?
What do you guys think?
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
How long does silence
Well,
last?
Silence lasts.
10 minutes.
Concentration up to 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so the goal is set fire, then set silence, and hope that we.
Well, first we're gonna be examining it. We're familiar with woodwork, etc., right? And with the knowledge of his fire, how strong his spells are, etc., and or just woodwork in general. This is much thicker than anything we've done. We've
Mhm.
cut down trees. What is our
Mhm.
appraisal of?
Yeah,
this?
these scorching ray and guiding bolt, they probably wouldn't burst through the walls of a house, and a house is made out of like mud brick. To burst through a tree, you don't think scorching ray or guiding bolt would properly do it.
I wonder if Let's see.
Another opportunity is that if there's ever someone who comes alone to us to give us food, etc., when they're at the door, you can attempt to hold them, and we can try and take a key
Yeah.
and get out that way.
That's what I was thinking. The whole person seems because I could because if hold person succeeds, they shouldn't be able to talk either, right?
That's right. If it succeeds,
Yeah.
they are completely immobilized, completely disabled.
I kind of like that idea more. I just don't see, because even if we weaken it with fire and stuff like Moxi punching through, I don't think I have any spells that would directly like protect him.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna break out. That was why I asked about the appraisal.
Yeah.
Finessing out, but he says, I think that we should just be ready at any point. If we think that there's a chance we can make some sort of escape, what do we lose? Our lives? Our lives are already lost as far as I'm concerned. I consider myself effectively dead already. I just want to accomplish one last thing. If we can get any single one of us out, then that will be it.
I think we try our best. Yeah, I think holding person when someone comes in is our best bet.
It takes
Um,
some hours before the ship leaves the dock, but it does. And from your window, you can see the land. You're looking towards this peninsula over here. So you sort of see the peninsula start to go by, and you can see that it's miles away. Like the mountains on that peninsula are really what you're seeing, and they're dots in the distance as the ship sets out and begins to sail round. You will find yourself at sea for days, and
Yeah.
you are not bothered for the first day. You have a bucket of water, but no place for a bathroom and no food brought to you in the first day. When it is brought to you, the door is opened and there are a pair of guards, and there's a bucket that they put in that has some more water, and a bucket that they put in that has some food. And I think that's your first opportunity. But
At this
from
point,
the
we're too far
window.
from land.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're too far from land. It does make sense that there's no point.
Yeah.
I think we wait and see where we're going.
There is no waiting at this point. It's unless we go back to the same continent, but
You have a
Like-
port side view, and you can watch the mountains as you go round the island.
Oh,
You don't head out into the deep sea. You stay close to the coastline,
okay.
and you go far, far from home. I think at this point you're sort of just guessing where it is, because this mountain stuff over here, sometimes your people have ventured over here, but it's rare. It's very rare to cross the forest and come to this zone. It's been done. And you sort of recognize these things in the distance as you come round and round, finally making your way up beyond the edge where any Toman has been in thousands of years, coming back in, seeing a swamp by your side, and then being brought, which comes suddenly into the view because you're only ever looking out the port side. And then as the ship turns to come into the harbor here, you get glimpse of a great and terrible settlement, a place that churns all sorts of dark, foul-smelling smoke into the air, the sounds of livestock by the thousands, maybe the tens of thousands, mewing in the streets, the clattering of hard metals on stone, the stamping of people's feet, the hideous laughter of thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe 20,000, 50,000. You can't even imagine how many there are, but tens of thousands of the songless here, strolling about, wearing weird hides, towering above each other, urinating in the streets, pushing each other around, whipping their animals, enslaving them, with this constant outpouring of dark, sulfuric smoke rising from across the city. It almost looks like the place is on fire, yet nothing truly burns. And the sounds of metal pounding ring in the distance as you are brought from the boats through this new wondrous yet hideous city into another underground lair where you don't stay for very long before you have unexpected guests. I'm going to just show you the whole map because you're brought in. You can kind of get a good look at this place. You start from the bottom. You're brought past guards all the way up to your cell in the top. And it's up here where you are placed. And again, there's no chains that will fit your wrists, but they bind your wrists now with rope, with that braided hair like substance, and shut a door with bars and leave a guard posted. And then shortly after that, maybe 15 minutes, you haven't had much time to settle, the spellcaster and what is clearly the spellcaster's master arrive to look at you.
Oh, shit.
They gaze at you through the bars and talk to one another in their strange language before this new figure, this tall, towering woman of a songless, speaks some words, pulls out a clay statue of like a step pyramid, crushes it in her hand, and then looks at the three of you and says, in a language you can understand flawlessly, "Well, well, well, what do we have here? What sort of goblins are you?"
If you had spoken to the captive who we'd shown mercy to and released, you would know we are not savage goblins.
He turns to the other one standing next to her, the one who has helped capture you, and says, "Oh, do you know that they think they're civilized creatures? These troglodytes?" And then he responds, and you can't understand him. And she speaks to him, and you can understand her. She says, "Yes. Within the mountain. Right, right. Well, their skin is awfully dark for creatures that come from underground." She looks back at you. "Where do you live? Underground or above?" They are stupid,
Above.
aren't they?
Above, as you astutely surmised.
Ah,
Right.
In trees and forests.
uh-huh. And you work no steel.
We have no
Do we
need
have
for
that
it.
word?
No.
We know it because
Oh, yes.
we
Yeah.
know this. We know this. We know steel. It was taught to us by them. We've
Yes.
had no need of it.
You set out to learn that in particular. Right, right. Interesting. In your own language, what do you call yourselves?
Alabaster thinks if he wants to give them that word.
We call you the
have-
songless, so you can imagine what we call ourselves.
The songless. Oh, what primitive beasts you really are. And then she turns back to the other person and asks him, "Now, where on the mountain did you find the artifact? He starts talking back at her. And every time she speaks, no matter who she's speaking to, you can understand her. And you get the impression that, like, she knows you can understand her. She just doesn't care that you get, like, half of this conversation. And after asking, like, where on the mountain did you find the artifact? She says, and another one said he found a similar artifact on the other side of the mountain. Well, we should definitely go find them and bring them back. That first one was unlike anything I'd seen. It dates from 3,000 years ago at the latest, perhaps even a little earlier. It has old writings. You've done well, Ivan. Very well. She like holds out a hand for him to kiss her, you know, weird, hairy fingers wrapped in little bits of like crude metal.
We're supposedly, so I'm going to turn to Albus and say, for supposedly civilized creatures, they spend a lot of time trying to convince themselves of each other's import.
That is true. I feel like if they really were, then there won't be need for such to waste time on such needless gestures. Wearing all these things to signal how important they are.
They do have short lives, after all. You cannot blame them for feeling rushed, scurrying about.
The creature before you doesn't seem to take note of your conversation, but eventually steps forward and says, I am Isis the Fourth, queen of this island.
It took me so much restraint to not say, did you eat the second and third?
That's great. Do we know the word queen?
Maybe it translates to you more as like leader or like matriarch than queen.
Well,
what are your calling cards? Your names? Do you have names?
we do. All of us do.
Where do you come from?
You know where you got us from. What are you asking?
Do you come from the pit? Do you come from a different material plane?
No,
The plane of
native to this
Earth?
land. We are native to this land.
We've always been on this land much longer than you have.
We have scoured every inch of this island. There is no part of it unknown to us. And yet, your people crawl out of that mountain every now and then, wreaking horrors upon my kind, killing us en masse. We all know the stories of the goblins of the mountain. Where do you come from, goblins?
Be considered just not encroaching on land that has people defending it.
So
maybe it's not
actually,
yours to take.
something catches Gray's. No, he says, "You believe you've explored the entirety of the island?"
Her head cocks. Tell me what I've missed.
Iskar, they
Have you
think they're
tried-
so
he says-
civilized.
Have you tried looking underground for the goblins your people are so scared of?
Well, it would be nice if we could all get along. If your
We tried.
slaughter
tried.
would end. Babies ripped from their mothers' breasts. Whole villages wiped off the face of the earth.
Like mine was, by your people, who came and slaughtered them needlessly.
Did your, and he doesn't know the word for underling or anything, so he's just going to say son. Did your son not tell you how they captured us, who we talked to, who we captured?
She looks back to the
We
one.
all agree.
He says he captured one of our men. Is this true? And then the guy prattles and talks, and she sits and calmly listens. Says, and A snake wrapped around his neck, fangs poised to bite for days. Uh-huh. Interesting, Matt. They really... How do you control the animals like that, endlessly? How do you maintain a grip on them through dusk and dawn?
It's just like we tried to explain to you with your captive. Not about control, but about collaboration.
She looks back to the other guy. Strange creatures. They don't realize they're enslaving their minions. They actually think they're cooperating. Interesting.
No, we know that we are cooperating. They willingly enter the bonds.
There's nothing that we know more. That's why you're songless, because you're unable to see it, but we are.
Who was it that built the what do you call the structures on the structures on the top of the mountain? The one that you found my men taking apart. The one that you ambushed my other men at. What do you call those things?
Grey will sort of raise his hands toward the others and he'll say, they think us uncivilized, they think us animals, and yet wish to speak with us. We are your captives, we know our position, but he sort of looks at her a little bit defiantly, but not like brash, sort of like I'm going to jump out.
Right.
And says, your people have a your people do not understand ours, just as we did not understand yours. If you wish to learn more about us, then you must acknowledge that we are not mere goblins, and we will acknowledge that you are not brutish savages who are driven only by instinct like feral beasts.
Singing goblins, then?
If you, on the one hand, you claim that we're savage monsters who live in the earth, and on the other hand, you claim that, and on the other hand, you see that we've apparently have knowledge of structures that you have never seen before. You say that you've never seen before anything like it, yet you want information about them from us. You want information about if you've explored the entire island, where we're from. Apparently, there's a lot of things that we know that you don't, and yet you think that we're just savage beasts? Make that make sense for me, please.
The world is
Matriarch.
filled with mysteries to be unraveled. I will get what I want out of you one way or the other. The question is, how easy do you want to make this on yourself? Because it can be comfortable, or it can be uncomfortable. I will not let a handful of cave-dwelling, troglodyte, singing goblins get in the way of my plans. I have a whole society to run, and this
And do you not
tiny
think
tribe means nothing.
Then do you not think that perhaps, just perhaps, it might better serve your plans to attempt to cooperate with the people that from your perspective have harried the progress of your kind on this island for so long? After all, we are your captives. You can slaughter us at any point, we know that. What do you have to lose? Except by...
Bring me a chair, she says to one of the guys nearby. He'll slide over a chair, and she'll come right up to the gate. The other spellcaster standing behind her, a bodyguard standing behind her as well. She'll sit in the chair, her long flowing red robes, dangling from her. A swagger stick made of onyx with a large pearl handle resting in her hands as the brass bottom of it taps on the stone floors. Okay. Convince me. I will cooperate with you. You will cooperate with me. We'll all get along. What do you want in exchange for the information you have? What can I the matriarch of this great land whose power knows no limits, offer you.
You wish
I
information,
think-
and you wish for us to stop our people to stop slaughtering yours when you enter our lands.
Yes.
We wish the same.
And we might be the only singing goblins, as you say, who can proliferate this kind of cooperation. The reason that it's only the three of us that captured your man, the reason that we approached you as only the three of us, is that we are the only people of our group, and there's a lot of them. So many. This fight could go on for millennia. That we're the only ones convinced that cooperation would even be possible. If you slaughter us right now, there might never be singing goblins again who could do this. Because the next group you capture, they won't talk. They think of you as savage beasts just as much as you think of us.
Okay.
This might be the only type of conversation that you can hold.
Okay.
So
Let us converse then. How many of your people are there?
We're not answering that.
You don't. If it's too high for you to count, you can tell me how far your village stretches. Can you walk it in half the time it takes the sun to rise? Or does it take all day to walk the length of your home?
If I gave you a truthful answer, I do not think. Oh, sorry. You can go ahead. Sorry, he's been talking too much. He realizes that and steps back.
at first, I think that you are realizing that we're not as savage and troglodyte as you think. And you must know that we realize that without any guarantees, without anything in return, we have no reason to give you this information. For what we're concerned, we're dead. You're going to kill us at any point. Why would we give up this information? I do know that we're valuable to you. Because this is as deep as you're going to get into any conversation with any other of our group.
You are right.
So,
You are not cave goblins. I have spoken to many goblins before. You are far too articulate and clever. Except for that one, she says, pointing at Moxi. That one stands mute. I think it's afraid. But you are not cave goblins. What are you?
There might be a different way an easier way to answer this question. What was the name of the person who we captured? It looks as the other ones.
He wants to know the name of the man who was captured.
The language we were able to communicate. He understood some words of our language, or close to it.
mm-hmm.
How is that possible? Understanding that might answer that question for both of us. As to how
The name's man was
come-
Brutus. What language does Brutus speak? He only speaks the common tongue. I don't know what languages he tried. Brutus is not here with us now.
You're obviously using some kind of magic to converse with us.
Yes, very perceptive. You have magic of your own, I hear.
I wonder, since we're able to use magic, but also since there seems to be commonalities between what you call the common tongue and ours, does it not come to mind that there is more that we share in common?
I would love to explore this. What do you call yourselves? What are you related to? You're not a sprite, you're not a pixie, you have long ears, you have darker skins, darker hairs, no form of advanced technology or even rudimentary technology. You're primitive in nature. You live on mountainsides, away from fertile valleys, away from agriculture. You won't discuss your numbers. You protect the mountains. What are you? Are you some sort of mountain elf? Some sort of rare alpine elf?
Does she wear any symbols of any gods that I would recognize? Probably not, right? I think we've discussed that the symbols wouldn't really be common.
There are
Right?
no divine symbols that you see anywhere on this creature.
Have we seen any on our walk here, on the ship?
All right. You're sitting here in this conversation. You have seen symbols. You've seen a lot of symbols as you've come through this area. And you're going to try and match the symbols in your brain to the constellations of the stars and see if you can find like a symbol that might match one of these constellations you know so well. I'm going to need you to make me like, well, there's going to be a DC 25, 15, 20, and 25 religion check. There are 3 potential symbols, so roll them in that order. Or roll 1 religion check and I'll tell you how many you get.
Yep.
It's a 5, Alabaster. You don't know. You can't match anything.
The question which you asked, what are we? If someone asks that to you, it's difficult to answer. We are ourselves. We know we are our people. What we are in relation to what you know of, that's for you to decide. We are simply our own people.
What do you call yourself?
We are the people. I see your point. Where do you live on the mountain? Do you live at the base? Do you live at the top? Do you live on the sides? Do you dwell in caves?
I think that is not a question that can be answered within language.
So you're some sort of fey creature slipping between the realms of this world and the next, living somewhere near the Feywild, an adjacent plane, and appearing on the mountain. That podium, that tower my men took, is that how you come into this world?
What she's saying is a consideration that I had when I thought about the Tomen. I don't think we know anything about the Feywild or anything, do we, Koibu?
Does that word even make sense to us, Faye?
Yeah, Fey is sort of like a catch-all. Like if humanoid is sort of like a catch-all for people that walk on legs, or if humanity is sort of a catch-all for a sentient, respectable, living organism. Feywild would sort of be like a catch-all for Tomen, and you're also aware of like pixies and sprites and elves as a concept. Like none of them live here, but they are known creatures from legend and lore of past. And you're all sort of related, and the Feywild is like sort of supposedly your ancestral home before your ancestral home before your ancestral home. It's like the dawn of your species.
So that was my question, is like, from their perspective, Fae describes us perfectly, I think, from a human perspective, but would we see ourselves as Fae?
I think so. I think you would see yourselves as Fae as much as you might see yourself, KTZ, as industrialized or as, agricultural.
In that case, we will. I think he will not.
Yeah, I believe Fae is the correct term, yes. We don't know what realms you speak of, but...
Why does that one not speak? Is it mute? Is it dumb?
I just can't help but wonder. You mentioned our tower that you picked apart. What were you looking for? What did you want?
You must disassemble something to understand what it is. Every time you see a new thing, you must tear it apart so you can understand it. This was a new thing. A strange thing in a strange place. Something not from us, but only built by us, that exists in a place we had yet to be. Very interesting. Very curious.
We have given, he's going to look to his allies. We have given vague answers. As you can probably tell, we are not goblins. We have loyalty to ourselves and our people. And after thousands of years of conflict, we are hesitant. We showed mercy to one of your own and released them. If you recognize us as goblins, I ask the same in turn, and release one of my allies.
In due time. There's much to be
We would
said
be willing-
yet.
We don't ask for all of us to be released, but if one of us can be released, then the other two will give all the answers that you seek. We have a lot to say about the structures that you found. We have a lot to say about where we live.
And you have a lot to say
There's
about
a
the
lot-
places you have seen and the people you have seen. You have a great deal of potential. I'm not ready to let any of you go. How long do you live?
We will outlive multiple of your generations.
Is there anything you would wish to know about me or my people? In the spirit of cooperation and teamwork?
I'm going to think for a moment.
Me too.
She looks to the other person. They are so slow. They act like there is infinite time in this world. Certainly must be related to their long-eared cousins. Yes, they do say they're some sort of distant elf or sprite of some kind. I've seen no wings. Have you seen them fly?
How do you
No?
become a queen?
Ah. How did I? Or how does one? Because those are
How
two.
does one?
One becomes queen. Truly. No lies. At the heart of the matter. By taking it. By asserting your power over others. By making others kneel before you. That is how you become a queen. That is how you rule. There are many things said about leadership. But at truth, leadership only comes when people fear and respect you. Leadership does not come when people like you, because as soon as they dislike what you say, they will betray you.
This is true of everything in your society.
This is
That's to
true
be
of the
taken.
world. My society
When-
and others.
Are you the queen of all of your people? Or you said just of this island, so I assume there's other queens.
There are.
And when you encounter another queen, when you go to another island, do you try to take everything that you can from them?
I have not done that. But many
not?
others do.
When you leave this island, you have these contraptions that can float on the great oceans. I assume you use them to go to other places.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to somewhere that is not this island, have you left this island before?
Many times.
And when you do that, are you then not under the rule of another queen?
We visit our friends. We visit those we trust. We do not walk into the dens of dragons uncarefully.
Well, some of us do, apparently.
Just why did you surrender yourselves? I have been meaning to ask.
Because
I've asked them how
I
they
fool-
surrender. You may wish to listen to this response. Go ahead, little one.
Because we foolishly assumed that you would be willing to cooperate with us, that maybe it wouldn't have to be like walking to the den of a dragon, but like visiting a friend. Obviously,
Or-
there's years upon years upon years of history there.
How
But
many of my men did you kill?
how many of ours did you?
We only
None.
kill the men.
I have not
We-
harmed any of your people, save my companion Ivan Gravestone here did disassemble one of yours after our people had been met with great savagery and wanton murder.
This is the wanton murder into which I was born. Your people, perhaps not under your direct rule. I am about 80 years old, so this would have been probably 70 years ago. Yeah, it would have happened before your kind. Yes, it would have been well before you were even born. But my people, my family, peaceful, simply living in harmony with nature, were butchered by your kind.
You
The reason
hold
we
me
surrendered
responsible for the sins of my
No.
ancestors?
He shakes his head. That is why we surrendered ourselves. Because we were hoping that we wouldn't have to kill more of your people, and your people would not slaughter ours.
It seems like what you're
is the simple
saying.
reason.
It seems like what you're saying is that you wish to exist in a world where your people do not get slaughtered. And when we approached you, when we surrendered ourselves, when we tried to communicate with you, when we took in your man, it didn't hurt him, but merely talked to him. What we tried to tell you is that we are ready for that that's possible. And yet you've taken us here and taken us prisoner. Let us start the process of ending this. It doesn't have to continue like this. It doesn't have to be like a dragon's den anymore for you on that island.
The Fey Tricksters believe that if we just let them go, that we're foolish enough that if we let them go, everything will be happy and peaceful. And all the generations, the countless generations of our people who have suffered under their hands, will suddenly end. All we needed was a 5-minute conversation, and all of our troubles could be over.
No,
How quaint.
actually, a little bit more than that. There was a time in history where there was a peace because clear borders were established. We only attack when your people enter our lands. That is it. When they are a perceived threat. If those borders are known, that is it. We don't expect trust from you. You are a race of conquest and war. We don't expect to cooperate you. I believe, even from this discussion, even if you consider us not savages, we have fundamental differences in what it means to live, what philosophy is. Your answer about becoming queen told me that much. I don't think our people can exist in harmony, but they can exist in peaceful neutrality.
These lands are mine. I lay claim to everything from sea to sea.
Alabaster laughs. How long have you been trying to conquer this island?
This island has been conquered by my people for generations.
And yet
I-
you don't even know where the people who slaughter all of your men live? Is that a conquered land? There's
There are-
structures everywhere on this island that you don't understand and it's conquered?
There are there? Are there more than the two? The one that
That
we
sounds like
have and the
some-
one that my man saw?
That sounds like a question that you would ask to someone who truly owns this land, does it not?
I don't claim to be all-knowing.
And yet you claim to be the owner of this island.
Yes.
Interesting. How long
If
have
your
your people been on this?
people will kneel before me, if your matriarch will come and swear subservience to me and show me your villages, we can live in peace. but it will be with you as a subordinate race.
How do your people end up on our lands?
We spread. We explore.
He
We
shakes his head.
question.
If you have not seen our lands, and you claim that your people have seen all of it, you clearly haven't. How... He's actually confused here. He doesn't actually understand the logistics of this, right? Like he's actually sitting there in genuine confusion, not understanding how it actually works. Because he doesn't... None of us know how it works, right?
Yeah. We just take it for
the-
granted, yeah.
Yeah, because from our perspective, we literally just walk, and they apparently have a blind spot for the entire center of the goddamn fucking continent. Apparently,
They keep calling it the mountain. And as you can
Yeah.
see, it is 3 separate mountain ranges, and
Yep.
there are multiple peaks. But they
Yeah,
keep calling it the mountain.
you only see one mountain.
I see many mountains. Mountains in the south, and the north, and the east, and the west, and the great mountain in the middle. Which mountains do your people live on? We've only ever seen you come from the great mountain in the middle.
I'm beginning to understand.
What happens if I look at... when we looked, we would have had views, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Was there... When we were outside and coming back, if we look back towards the mountain, like, even if it was in the way here or when we were near the songless, right? When we are outside of the barrier and we look at the mountain, what do we see?
You see a mountain range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to you. You would see it as if you were looking at this map right here, and, you know, it makes perfect sense. There's like a range of mountains, there's a bunch of peaks. There's like a little valley between the 2 mountains, and the river comes out of the valley, and it's all covered with trees.
And that's true even when we were outside of the barrier?
Even when you were on the boat floating, you know, sailing by over here, and you looked up, you saw the mountain ranges. Yeah.
Or is it... They only see a single mountain? He sort of like looks at the others.
They only see a single mountain.
There's more than one mountain in the middle of the island? Really? There were runes of illusion on the structure we pulled out of there. Is it hiding something? Is there an invisible mountain? How big is it?
I believe that this information could be... I think that we see the island in a very different way to you. And I think as long as your people don't see the island in that way, and they have tried to for generations now, there's no hope of you ever spreading to and conquering this island. You will die much, much sooner than us, and you will never have understood this if you let all 3 of us die in imprisonment right now.
Well, then
I
we
rather-
should make sure you live.
I rather think that if she lays claim, he looks at us, if she lays claims to this island, and this island alone, she can have it, and she can have this single mountain.
I nod.
Perhaps we do truly travel between realms.
Maybe there's a realm there that she just never will be able to access, and that realm wouldn't be part of the island now, would it? So it wouldn't be hers to conquer?
Ivan, fetch me my notebook. Fetch. And Ivan, you know, scurries down the hallway. How do you move to this other realm, this other place? What does it look like? If I can't go there, I cannot harm you. What does it look like to you?
Home.
Trees?
It's a beautiful...
Yes.
Alabaster will start smiling, reciting, chants about the homeland that they would have learned as they grow up. The beautiful land shown by Illumis. And just all these like vague terms about the lush green home that we call and that protects us and stuff like that.
Vague though, right? Very vague.
Yeah.
And
Like
in our
super
language.
vague. Like the kind of like song about home that more evokes feeling than it does like give actual information.
Literal
Right.
translation and artistic translation are probably a little bit more like, even if she can literally understand us, I wonder if you can actually capture the essence of like what something is saying.
Yeah.
The literal words
Yeah.
may not even make sense.
Like I'm imagining here, because colors are so important to Omen culture, that these songs and chants just kind of recite of like, from the lush green to the paler greens, from the flowing blue to the crystal, stuff like that, right? Where it just kind of describes these like impressions of color as you walk through the lands in the middle.
Yeah, at a
And
certain
you just,
point, she sort of like
yeah.
gets up, exasperated, starts shouting in a foreign language, like starts demanding things of people, smashes her, the end of her swagger stick on the ground, and this other guy scurries off. He comes back and she pulls out another one of these like little clay pyramids and crushes it in her hands and says, "Now, where were you? Tell me more." And like she's writing down everything that she can hear that you say, and you don't have writing, but she's taking a feather and she's scratching the feather across this impossibly thin skin. Essentially, it looks like she's peeled the skin off of a creature and is just like drawing with a feather on the skin. This will happen twice more as you describe the area, and this conversation will continue a little bit. She wants to hear all of your like weird poetry. But eventually, she will run out of spell slots, and she will run out of spells for the day, and will turn away in a huff, having the guards shut the doors to your cell, leaving you locked in. And while you're in here, on this day, you small, what do they call you? Singing goblins, mountain goblins, you little creatures who can almost maybe fit through these bars, who can almost maybe fit through things, and are currently like sitting bound with your hands are bound together with this braided hair. Find yourself alone in this dungeon. There are lights elsewhere that do sort of trickle in, providing a little bit of illumination. And then your night vision really kicks in, allowing you to see this whole little area quite well.
When they were bringing us in, the other cells, do we know are those occupied?
You saw them occupied, but not by your people, by their people.
Huh.
Yeah. And throughout this process, you've heard anguished cries, especially once they're gone. You can hear the occasional screaming or the occasional like bemoaning, some sort of off-putting chanting coming from echoing through the halls of this underground this underground tunnel system.
So once we're alone, they are they are people of conquest. This woman has no intention of releasing us, no intention of letting us leave alive if capable. They want to learn how to get to our people so that they can fully conquer it. I could see the greed in her eyes. The fact that there is something that she does not understand. She wants to learn about it and she wants to make errors. There will be no cooperation with them. You did well to be vague with your description. Keep them... I'm going to borrow a line from one of my favorite plays. Keep them intrigued in perpetuity without ever being enlightened. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Shout out. Great play.
I look around this dungeon, the literal dungeon. Okay. We're far away from home. I don't think she has any intention of ever releasing one of us. Do we
Or
agree?
if she does, killing them. Though I would be able to know.
Yeah.
The runes of illusion from our tower. Do we even understand what those are? ourselves?
No.
We have no idea, right?
It's
Yeah,
old.
I didn't think we did.
It's an ancient gift from a friend countless generations back that was supposed to protect you, but you don't really know how it works.
Yeah.
We're bound in rope. There's no jagged edges or anything nearby with which to fray them.
Well, give me wisdom checks. Everyone in the party. Yeah, that's actually what I want, because I want multiple wisdom checks for multiple discoveries in this area.
Can I make an argument for in 5e it sucks. Thieves' tools, they're like little things, but can I argue thieves' tools for the idea of like knowing how to escape or maneuver things? Like
I mean, not for picking a lock.
oh, sorry, perception. Yeah, sorry, you said perception.
Wisdom, please.
Oh,
Oh, I see what you
I
mean.
got
You want the thief. You want the thief's bonus to these things.
I rolled a 2 on
Oh,
the
sorry, I didn't
thing
see
anyway,
it.
so
Ignore that.
well, I rolled a 4.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. And if you have the thieves proficiency, because we're talking about escaping things, you would get another what bonus to that?
I have +7 instead of +2.
Okay, so this is actually an 11 for you, because this is about escaping. So yeah. So 11, 15, 16. Excellent. You're Toman. You are small creatures. You have small heads, you have small hands, you have small legs, you have small arms, small bodies, small teeth. Small teeth, like, not quite the size of a rat's teeth, but small teeth that can easily gnaw through these ropes. Human teeth are slightly blunted on the bottom side, but these are kind of thick fibers, and you have more narrow teeth, used to ripping and rending flesh like the Stone Age creatures that you are. You look at these rope bonds around you, and you feel like you could probably chew through them in half an hour or so. You also look around at the cell bars before you. They haven't woven these ones with sticks. Now, you know there's a lot of guards out there, but you get the impression that you could try to squeeze through these bars. It would be a check for each of you, and it would be, you just get the one check. You know, it'd say, can you do it or can you not do it? So maybe you could escape. Maybe 2 of you could escape. Maybe only 1 of you. If you can get out, you could get back in as well. But that looks like it would be possible. And the last thing, as you're looking around your cell here, because you actually passed all of the checks, is underneath this barrel right here. Once it's moved away, you notice there is a drain. There's a hole in the ground with a metal grate over it that is way too small for any human to slip through. But the Toman could probably slip through this grate. It's a little bit bigger than the bars, but it's like, you know, square holes, whereas the bars are like long vertical maneuvers. Now, you've got some options here. Go ahead.
Yeah, the problem is that our people don't have metalworking, so I probably wouldn't know that heat can make metal flexible.
That's true.
So this idea would not come to me.
I mean, is the grate one we can lift and just move?
No, it is not liftable, but you might be able to squeeze through it. The bars would require a DC 10 acrobatics check to get through. The grate would be impossible for any human to get through because there's, you know, the space isn't quite large enough, but you could probably fit your head through it. And if you can fit your head through it, you can fit the rest of you through it. So it's more like a DC 7 acrobatics check for you to get through the grate into whatever lurks below.
Just checking my spell list real quick. Acrobatics is dexterity based, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it modified by dexterity?
Yeah.
Is it it's a dexterity
So
check?
you have acrobatics of +0 White of Alabaster. So you just need a 7 or higher on a d20.
The other two?
My acrobatics is pretty good.
Iskar has a +3. Gray has a +7. Gray cannot fail to get through the grate below and would easily slip through the wall in front, although I guess there's a 2 in 20 chance of not making it.
I could cast enhance ability on myself.
What does that do?
I can choose one of 3 buffs, but one of them is Cat's Grace. The target has advantage on dexterity checks.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I want to use a spell slot on that. I'm not staying here. And like I'm assuming that like we have enough. I guess like the thing is I wouldn't necessarily have this spell prepared. I don't think this is a spell that I would normally like think about for this kind of situation, but
Alabaster. Right. It's not currently prepared for you.
yeah.
Clerics can re-prepare spells. We usually do every long rest. Now, you've essentially had a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
You've been long resting. You've been in prison for like a week or 2 on this ship. I don't know at what point at the end of a long rest you get to change your spell slots, but I do think that this is... You've done nothing but sit in a prison cell for weeks. This is a long rest. I will allow you to pick, change your spells 1 time before you do anything. But you're going to have to pick all of your spells, and then it'll stay that way for another, days or weeks.
The other plan I have right now is way too involved. It would involve, like, causing a distraction with the other prisoners and trying to go out the door this way.
Yeah. I think the Greats is the way to go, because the thing is, like, it also... If we go out here, like, we're in the street, we have no fucking idea, but if we're... To us, this is just a hole that we can slip into, right? We don't really know about, like, drainage or anything like that, but, like, to us, it would just make more sense to slip into a small hole that we know the others can't fit into, right? Like...
These creatures are so hasty. They just tossed you in here, not preparing. The last creature bothered to, take extra precautions, probably because he saw Toman escape from something once. But you've just arrived here. They didn't even wait an hour after your arrival before interrogating you, and then walked away as soon as their spell slots ran out.
If we, Gray will say this, if we are ever in a position, once we escape, conflict erupts, dangers happens, just go.
Yep.
Just go. If I fall behind, don't come back for me.
Yep.
All right, Toman. You should also all be at full HP, and you should have all your hit dice available. It is dark in the dungeons. There's a distant torch flickering, sending long shadows dancing across walls. Your night vision is very kicked in. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Oh, wait, so when if I poke my head through this grate, what do I see? Like going down?
Your dark vision is about 20 feet. You see that below you is like a basin of water sitting in a cradle of stone.
A basin of water in a cradle of stone?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a long... So, I'm sorry. Is it like a shaft down, or is it like an open area beneath?
It is a shaft that drops some maybe 10 feet. And then below that, there's like a basin of water, but that's like the edge of your vision. And then because the shaft that drops 10 feet is sort of narrow, you can't really see much outside what's directly below that.
It's a basin of water, you said, like...
Stagnant water.
So once we drop down, it's like we're dropping down. Like, it's like, there's no like... That's my idea. It's like there's no me jumping down and like scouting around and saying, all right, we'll go this way, guys. It's like we're going down. We're basically going down.
Yeah, maybe you could squeeze in and then like, hand hold your way down a little bit and then try to peer down and then scamper back up. But it would be a series of checks. And if you slipped, you would just fall. Yeah.
Okay. I say we simply go. We do this.
All right.
We don't hear anything if we listen, because as we're nibbling, we have like 30 minutes to like have my ear to it, listen.
The sounds of scraping feet in the dungeon and the occasional cry from elsewhere really overpowers.
But those are all going to be, those are all going to be like, if I have one ear down, I'm going to be able to notice that those are like above rather than below.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's no loud sounds from below. If there were soft sounds, they're overpowered, but there's definitely no like conversation happening down there.
All right. We are going to go once we're ready, once you've enhanced yourself.
Yep, I enhanced myself with the Cat's Grace or whatever.
Okay. Now, what's the range of Cat's Grace?
I was under the impression that it's just a buff that I cast on myself, but
It's a touch spell. Right. Well, I don't know
yeah.
if you could cast it on yourself.
Oh,
But
can
if
you
someone
not
else,
cast touch spells on yourself?
you could cast it on somebody else too, right? I just didn't. If you cast it on yourself and go down first, you then can't cast it on anybody else. So I just want to make sure the order of operations of everything happens
I see.
as
Well,
you desire.
The thing is, like, I don't know if I want to use all my spells. Like, my idea was to mainly to just, I guess, like to use it on the person with the worst roll, which would be me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to use all like 3 spell slots that I have to just make sure that we get out. I feel like you guys
Totally.
have a good enough chance. Yeah.
Okay. Who's the first one down?
I will be.
Give me an acrobatics check. All you need is a 7. You squeeze through the bars, you shift your shoulders, you bend them. It's a tight squeeze. Thankfully, you don't have any gear on you of any kind, but you can squeeze through this grate that, you know, a human might be able to stick their foot through, but you would get stuck at your hip. Like no human could ever possibly get through here. But you're small enough that you bloop, and drop down, splashing into the water below. Who's next?
I think
go
it should be Iskar, right? I think I should
Yeah.
go last.
Acrobatics check, Iskar. 19. Easy. You squeeze through just as well and drop into the water below.
All right,
White of
I cast
Alabaster.
Cat's Grace, and I'll give you an acrobatics check at advantage.
Oh,
Okay.
natural 20,
You take
natural
those.
2. You squeeze through, drop into the water below, and find yourself in a subterranean environment. Your dark vision kicks in. There's stone walls, little walkways. You're treading water in this area of filthy, gross, disgusting water. And as you do so, beady red eyes appear at the edge of your vision. And giant rats, larger rats than you've ever seen, begin
let's
to
fucking
scurry
go.
forward.
Well, I didn't take like any combat spells, guys.
Well, party, I actually think this is it. I think if we're going to wrap up the first season of Dicelocke, I think this is the spot to wrap it up.
Oh,
Escaping your captors, falling into the sewers below, and beset upon by fearsome giant rats. Now, giant rats, we all know, classic D&D monster. Also, not a scary D&D monster, but with Tomin stats and no support animals and no weapons, giant rats might actually be a serious threat to your people.
Moxie's gonna solo them. It's fine.
Got all my key points. We're good to
It feels
go.
like it feels a
you were
little
a
bit like the start of
Yeah,
Castlevania.
he's a monk. He's totally fine.
Yeah, like we had a lot of our powers taken away, and somehow this like very unorthodox D&D campaign has found itself at the end of the first season in a dungeon fighting giant rats.
Well, that's going to be it for season 1 of Dicelocke. Congratulations on
Beautiful.
surviving, everybody. Do we think we can make peace with the songless?
No.
Absolutely not.
Are you asking out of character or like in character? Like there is the songless. No, I think there is a world where with a particular ruler you can have a temporary
Yeah.
peace.
Mm,
Yeah,
and
because there's different
temporary
queens,
truce.
right? So they're not all going to be the same. That's where my head is at too.
mm.
And I
Yeah.
think that the reason Gray asked the question of how did you become queen was it was to get a philosophical answer of like who their people are.
Mhm.
And like I said, he thinks of them now. Undoubtedly, they are driven by conquest. We are driven by harmony and prosperity. There is a
Mhm.
dichotomy there that cannot coexist,
Mhm.
which is why he said we can't exist in harmony, but like mutually fucking off. Yes, this person is far too greedy, as he said.
Mm.
Greedy is the word he's going to use to describe her to have any sort of like peace. If we hypothetically get out, his advice is going to be everyone stay the fuck back. Like just let them unless they get like really, really, really antsy, unless they're actually getting into our. Because from our perspective, this whole time, we actually think that they can see our mountain ranges, but they like can't get in. They just get lost. They don't even fucking know that they're there. They know now, but like vaguely.
Yeah.
But they know now.
Hmm. It definitely changes the dynamic. And I mean, they're on their way to finding out more about it with these runes and stuff like that. Like they're
Mm.
about to
It
figure
is
it
it is an
out.
eventual. Your father was correct in that it is an eventuality. Um, it is an eventuality, I think, in this world and setting that just like the nature of man and progress and curiosity, they will eventually discover these things. They'll discover how they work. Magic exists. Powerful spellcasters exists. Just like Malachi can fuck up everything and open a portal to the demon realm, they can open a portal to our
Yep.
thing and get in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is an eventuality that they would, but like we just have to figure it out.
Moxie said something interesting a moment ago that we can't make peace with this queen.
Mhm.
But if you make peace with the next queen, do you think the queen after that, who's still going to be ruling while you're alive, is someone you could trust?
Yeah, it's kind of like Europe and Trump, right?
Hey!
um yeah, I don't, it's tough. You would have to have some sort of like pre-established. Yeah, but how do you know that if it's in their very nature to conquer, it's going to be really hard to have a stable position like that. I think
Mm.
the way to go is to get these people the fuck off of this island.
I have a slight disagreement there. I think that so this goes to sort of the nature of peace and man and war and conquest and like how long is peace tenable. Um, I think part of this is that something I understood but Gray didn't because our people live longer, right? They think more long term. We were looking for a quote unquote permanent solution, not like quite permanent, but like a long term solution. Accepting that that doesn't exist, I think, is sort of like important. However, you can pass on teachings like we might live through even if we have to negotiate that peace over and over again and like kill people, sometimes war will break out. Maybe it'll go for thousands of years where like we fight and then we like have a temporary peace depending on their king. If we keep on teaching the stories to our people, like on how to handle it, that's probably our best
Mhm.
outcome. Our best outcome is to just have our people, you know.
And yeah, we have the advantage in having people that live for very long, so that can gain more and more experience in dealing with these people over time. So when a new one comes, like, oh yeah, I've been through like 5 of you, like I can probably handle this.
That's it. We need to.
Yep.
I think
Okay.
about too if we're thinking of some sort of peaceful resolution. So the queen we spoke to was very focused on subservience, right? Like, oh, your animals are subservient to you. Oh, if I let you free, you'll be subservient to me. So if there's like a way that we could, I mean, if we maybe even could show them somehow how the bond works, you know, like maybe even like educate them a little bit and show them that it's not all about serving. It's, you know, truly partnership.
Hmm.
Ah.
We could teach them the power of friendship. Yeah.
Yep.
Who knows? All right.
All right. Well,
What do you?
everyone, I don't know where
Let's
you are
wrap
in
up
your
our recordings here.
levels, but hold on. Before you do, everyone take
Yep.
500 experience points.
I think we had just recently leveled up, so
I think so. So this
We-
probably won't get you anywhere, but you do get 500 for being
take it.
captured in these experiences and then dropping down into the tunnels.
Yep.
Yeah, I imagine we hit level 5 and then suddenly Alabaster has sending. That would have been funny.
So that puts us all at what, 4,600?
That's what I got.
All right. Party. That's it.
We will see you in hopefully an upcoming season 2 of Dicelocke. Who knows? Thanks for watching this show and stay tuned.